Hello students. So far we have discussed about what is remote sensing in technical sense and how we are using in our day-to-day life. Remote sensing is the art. Without coming in contact with Earth's surface, we can gather all the information of Earth feature, right? Now, next, moving further, how remote sensing process takes place. So here, I would like to draw your attention. Please look here carefully. Indian remote sensing launching process. How is the process that remote sensors are launched into the space, right? So here you can see that there is a launching vehicle. That is, you can see PSLV, that is a rocket shaped, right? In this, we are sending the sensors, and sensors will go into the space, and that will capture the information of our Earth feature, right? That is known as actual remote sensing process. Now, your question might arise that why we are only sending to the space and why the only reason we are getting features and that is called remote sensing or satellite. Very basic, right? Yes, because when we send it to the orbit, to the space, and then we are capturing the information of our Earth feature, it will give us the exact feature which is present on the ground from so far distance from the space, because there is a physics related to it that the rays which we have sent through our sensor from in the satellite, that will capture the exact information and we will get the exact location, perfect location. Without going to that position, we can get all every information through that. That is why remote sensing is very much important in our day-to-day life and in this space department, and then only we are very much ahead in research works, right? Now, next image, you can see that image you have seen here is bands, written band. So you can see in that image I am trying to show that the space is going, or an on airplane, the sensor is fitted, it is gathering data, it is taking data in different bands, and you can see we have stacked all the things and finally we are getting some information. That is why they have shown number of layers, right? And last image you can see that have shown that how is rocket launched and what can be done further. So you might be knowing this, India has launched just recent 108 satellites, and that is very successful. We have also taken the satellites from different countries also. They all are successful. Successful means what in this process? Not just by sending to space and it is over. It is that sending to space, the sensor moves to its orbit, it opens its wing and it starts taking the data. That is known as actual successful remote sensing process. And then only we can tell us that we are success in launching that sensor or launching that satellite. Okay, so that is actual remote sensing launching process. This contains many technical and physics terms which is very important to in-depth understand all the things. So in further on, we will understand all the parameters. Further, now looking to this, you can see here remote sensing history. What is remote sensing history says? Just here I have shown you the figures. What are the figures and images telling us to? First image, if we look to it, it is known as what? Tethered balloon. What is tethered balloon? Yes, we all have seen the balloons. We all have done the kind of paragliding, right? The position when we are doing a paragliding and what we can see the surface is actually remote sensing process, which very first we have tried on the tethered balloon. Yes, it was successful. We are getting the data. Not much area is covered, but throughout where balloon travels, we can get the information. The resolution, the distance, the area coverage, all are different, right? That is just for the trial. Now, similar next to it, you can see pigeons are used in remote sensing. Yes, here, students, I would like to give you an example of Uri attack. For the attack, you have seen we have designed the Garud. Garud was giving us what? A bird eye view. Bird eye view means what? Here, bird eye view means it is giving us the image how bird can view. And through that, we can do the analysis. Here on pigeon, we have set the sensor, and as pigeon fly, the data will be captured into it sensor. That is the second most thing we have tried. It was successful mission, that yes, we can do or we can gather information like this, which we are getting exactly the same information, because the rays which are going and coming back are truly accurate as much as level we want information. Now here you can see the third image, that is World War camera mounted on airplane. Here you can see what does it means. It just want to tell us that during World War we have fitted the sensors on airplane, and through that we were monitoring that what condition is there in other country, and according to that we were taking the decisions. This was the simple example we have said that is it helpful to us, and yes, you would surprised to know student that it is very much useful. Right now we are very much successful in the airborne process and also the spaceborne process. Airborne process means what? That is airplane mode process, means like this only we are attaching sensors to the airplane, and that airplane, through that airplane we are taking the information. That is very useful. We will further on discuss how it is useful to us. And you can see again now what is spaceborne. I have just now told the word spaceborne. Spaceborne means the data which is captured from sensor, but that sensor is where? It is in the space, and through space we are getting information. That is very accurate information. We can fetch the data what exactly we want. Now the last image you can see is last image is of that the sensor which we have sent, they are extracting the information, and you can see that various bands are there and they are extracting various informations to us. It is very useful, and hence we can do number of analysis and interpretation process. So this is how the history goes and work, and this is how all the information was gathered, and finally we have launched the satellites. We have decided the process, that how satellite should be decided, how satellite should be designed, how satellite will gather data, how data will be helpful to us, and similarly we have done the success in remote sensing. Now moving further, here, before we go technical, I need to make you understand the basic definitions and terminologies of remote sensing. Yes, I know. Looking to this, you might have studied this in your previous standards in high school, that is orbit and types of orbit and galaxy and celestial bodies and astronomy and satellite, astronomical science, astronomical engineering, SWAT, nadir, sensors. This much you have heard in your high schools, right? It was easy terminology. Similarly, this is very much important for our study in remote sensing. First of all, we will discuss about what is orbit. Now, orbit is what? We all know that there are 9 planets and there is a sun. They are revolving, all are revolving in their own orbit around the sun. Yes, I have shown here the figure. So I can tell an orbit is a regular repeating path that one object in space takes around the another one, right? You have to remember these definitions. These definitions are important. Now next we will discuss types of orbit. Which are the types of orbit? There are two types of orbit: geosynchronous orbit and polar synchronous orbit. Yes student, these two types are very much important, because further on we will discuss on this type only, that how is satellite made and for which purpose satellites are made in geosynchronous and polar synchronous. So, first of all, we will discuss geosynchronous orbit. What is geosynchronous orbit? Here, geosynchronous orbit means it will travel, means sensor will travel in horizontal direction in throughout the earth surface. Here I have shown you the figure, means all the data along the latitude surface will be captured by the sensor, that is known as geosynchronized orbit, right? And next is polar synchronized orbit. What is polar synchronized orbit? Yes, it's travel to north to south, south to north. It is polar synchronized orbit, means it will take the data in longitudinal manner, right? As earth is divided into longitudes and latitudes, right? And so as we are getting longitude latitudes, and so we require whole surface data of earth feature, and that is why one is geosynchronized and other is polar synchronized. Now, till now, so many times, even in the figure, even in the picture, you have seen the satellites moving in around, and I have many times here spoken word satellite. Now let us understand actually what is satellite. Artificial object that is placed in orbit, that is known as satellite. Yes, satellite is also one type of platform. Now we will discuss what is platform. Okay. Now we will see sensor. Sensor is artificial object which will take image of the earth. Satellite carries various sensor. Means satellite is main body and inside that we are keeping sensors. Now what is SWAT? SWAT means the image area, the area image on the surface is known as SWAT. Means what image is surfaced by that sensor is SWAT. Here also I have shown the figure, that is 335 kilometers SWAT width, means 35 kilometer it will be obtaining the image. And last is nadir point. We will discuss in next session. Thank you.